Hey guys, welcome to Raja Makes Money. How are all my money makers doing? And not a whole lot going on today because normally a lot would be going on. We'd start getting some market news and seeing what's happening in the markets for tomorrow. But with all the markets closed, we really don't have any. Well, the international markets are open tomorrow, but in America, all the markets are closed tomorrow. So we really don't have a whole lot going on. There's a lot going on in our country, but as of the markets for tomorrow, really doesn't matter. We really have no guidance yet because there's no futures until tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time when futures start trading again. But I was looking at the overseas markets, and they look pretty stable overall. Nothing too crazy. The good news is in Washington so far, no serious problems to report, which is good. If something got too chaotic, that could definitely spook the markets. The big news, obviously, for this week and everything that we're all watching will be, Wednesday for the presidential transition. And I have a feeling it's going to go smooth. They have a lot of troops there. Now, the real question turns to what is going to go up this week? What should we be looking at? What is going to be the hot play of the week? The thing is, we got the presidential transition and stuff. But here's the thing: we know who won the election. We know who the president's going to be. So if people didn't like Biden winning and thought it was going to sell all stocks or something drastic, they would have done it by now. They're not going to wait till Wednesday and go, now he's president, let's sell. It's not like everyone thinks that there's not going to be a transfer of power. So I think the markets have built that in. Now, the markets didn't really respond too well Thursday night when he gave his speech about the new stimulus package for $1.9 trillion. I think they thought he was going to do a little bit more. He delivered what we expected him to deliver. So the markets reacted Friday. Some stocks were up, some down. The thing is, the markets, it's sometimes when they move 100, 200 points, a year ago, 100 points on the Dow, that was a big move. You'd be like, oh my God, the Dow moved 100 points, or 300 points. It was crazy. But now when the markets move, 100, 200 points, it's really nothing big because there's just it's such a large number. So it still sounds like a big number, 300 points or 200 points in a day, but it really isn't that big of a number. Percentage wise, it's not even 1%. So definitely have to check it out. But, just to recap everything and what we did last week, we started out the week. We were up for the week and we wound up actually down 24,000 for the week. So we'll pull it up over here so everybody can see it. This is what we're going into the week with. We have our long shots up here. Hopefully Jaguar, my Patreon members, if you guys checked out, I posted something from the CEO. She posted on her LinkedIn page that Jeff had shared with me. Also, after hours, I was able to sell 10,000 shares. So those shares I bought for $2.20, I sold 10,000 of them after hours at $3.20 at $3.30. So I made $1,000 on that. So it was my bright spot of the day, Friday. But NEO just plummeted 7% in one day. I thought, we had a sure thing. What turned out should have just been a nice $150,000, $200,000 profit week. Just went to smoke in seconds when the market just sold off. Well, NEO was the big one. We could have closed them out, but you never know. Usually you think, electric vehicles are so hot, and I'm 5% out of the money. This is like a sure thing, but apparently it wasn't. And this is how we wound up. So we did make money on one of the NEO trades on the 56s, and we probably didn't have to buy those back, but it's just not worth the risk for $2,000. If it would have went down more after hours, we could have got stuck and had another 30,000 shares of NEO put to us. And if NEO opens up down tomorrow 2 or 3 points or Tuesday, it could have been disasterful. So what we did, we moved it around. We rolled out 800 contracts of Apple down to the 125s because we were playing the 128s. And then we did 500 contracts in NEO. We rolled those down from the 58s to the 55s. So I think Apple, at 125, has a lot of support there. And with earnings, I think we'll be okay. Everything should look good. On the other hand, how's our crypto doing? So we bought $50,000 of crypto. We're going to do that every single month. So as of right now, we are down almost $4,500 on our crypto investment. Bitcoin is sitting at $35,710. So that is not looking the best right now. But like I said, you know what? That's why we have to buy $50,000 of crypto a month. And we're just going to buy it every month for a year on the same day every month. So our next date to buy crypto is going to be on Valentine's Day on February 14th. And like I said, honestly, if crypto went back to $5,000, I would rather be spending $50,000 at $5,000 right now. And at the end of the year, let's hope it's at the 100,000 or 200,000 or $1 million, whatever crazy number you want to, believe that this imaginary coin or whatever it is, imaginary thing is going to go to. But you know what? A lot of people believe in it, so we're going to make money with it. And that's why you guys are my money makers, and let's make money. So let's take a look at some stocks. You guys, we looked at Geonomics, and that one continues to go up. Be interesting. It's at all-time highs, what it does. Kevin Kretzmar in the house says AMPE, so that's a hot stock pick. Let's see. Ambio Pharmaceuticals. All right. Take a look here. Kevin's given us this hot stock pick. It's got to be a good one. I've known Kevin for a long time, and hopefully soon Kevin may even be a guest on the show. He's a stockbroker. But let's take a listen. And maybe Kevin can give us some insight why he likes this one so much. But let's see here, 6-month chart. So looks like it's sat around 70 cents, 60 cents for a long time this year, and then a lot of activity here. And it's, well, the good news is it's back down from the highs, but we'll have to get some news on. We'll have to find out why this one is in the news and why Kevin likes it so much. What else you guys think? CCIV. We've looked at this one. This is that SPAC play. I don't know. I mean, it's been up. It's been halted. This thing keeps moving. Let's see. I mean, it just keeps moving. And this was a SPAC play, which is like a reverse merger for people who haven't heard about SPACs. Obviously this thing sat at this $10 forever, and then got in the news, and it's been as high, as $21 yesterday when it hit the new high, as low as 16. I mean, I'd rather buy it at $18 than I would at 21 if it's going to go. I don't know. It also does have options that trade, but these are tough because if these go up, or if these go down, your option's worthless. It doesn't have a lot of, it doesn't have a wide range of options to buy, and they're also pretty hard to get any kind of volume off. So makes it a little tougher. So you got to, watch all these and stuff. But I don't know. I've been watching it. I was watching it when it was 13, 14. Now I don't know. It's tough to play on those. Hard to say. You just got to have faith in them. So Rupan says, oops, there we go. It is a SPAC play merging with Lion Electric, contract with Amazon for EV trucks. So, like I said, it's a SPAC play. If that goes through, I don't know. What is it worth? Is this company going to be worth more than NEO? Is this company, $50 a share? Is this, I don't know. Some of these things just take off, and hard to say. Gamble the Globe Slots, CLOV, post-SPAC merger, CVS and Walmart partners, GHIV, huge mortgage SPAC. So, I don't know, CLOV, let's take a look. There's so many of them out there. Oops, Clover. There we go. Clover Health. How's this one? 3-month chart. Yeah, same thing. So another one that was sat around the $10 and then has spiked up in there. I don't know anything about it, so I have to take your guys' words on these. I haven't investigated them. Also, let's see, NGA. And I always take notes, and I'll start, investigating a little bit. But happy to share if you guys have news. Share the news if you guys know it or much about it. Northern Genesis Acquisition Corporation. All right, there we go. This one after hours and during the day, new high, 2 points off the high, kind of the same scenario. Sat at $10, and then when they get going, they get going. But I don't know. I mean, these are tough. They're already up, 2/3. just, you think it's going to go it went from $10 to $35. Can it go to $1,000? Of course. Could it go to 100? Of course. Can it go back to $10? Of course. It's hard to say. I mean, this is the one that blows my mind. I mean, if you guys want to talk about a stock that makes no sense at all, Signal. I mean, this thing went up again. I mean, this stock should truly be under $1. This is what it was worth. Why in the hell would anybody still buy Signal? This company was worthless. It went as high as $70. This was Elon Musk, made a tweet. Everybody got confused what he was talking about. And I mean, this thing should truly be back to $1. I mean, 3 cents where it was. I mean, I don't even know who would buy this. I mean, unless the guy who bought it at the $60, $70 price is so loaded, or maybe Elon Musk feels bad and he said, you know what? Here's $10 million. Go screw around with this thing. Really confuse people, because this company doesn't even have it. I think it has one employee out of his house. When people did the research, I mean, it's just a total joke. Just a total joke. But let's see. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Why would this stock be worth anything? They have no earnings. They have they have nothing. Or actually they do. I don't know. Earnings 16 cents. I don't know. I mean, the whole thing just makes no sense. I don't know. It's just a total, something is fishy with this, but especially for the fact that it's still up. I don't get it. So definitely interesting there. So pronounce that. Karashi says made 35,000 on OZSC. They are starting to supply Tesla with components for their mega packs. Also added a subsidiary and are now using Wesco as a distributor. Equity investor meeting Tuesday. OZSC. And as you guys know, hopefully that one hits, because that's one that the Raj is playing. We got 150,000 shares of it. It was up for a while, about 5 cents. Then it came down, so I bought 50,000 more shares, and now we're negative $3,200 on that one. It's still cheap. I mean, we only have 8,000, 7,500, 7,800 bucks into it. And these, like I said, this thing hits 150,000 shares and it hits for a dime, a quarter, $1. Imagine the thing went to $1. I'm going to be $150,000 profit potential. But who knows? Hopefully it hits. Like I said, they're cheap. So you know what? I call these, these are like for the smaller investors, these are like the $100 fund. This is like, taking a slot machine that you have probably no chance of ever hitting, but if it hits, it could pay out really big. Do the same thing with this. And it's up to you guys. It's your money. Spend it how you want. But, if you're a smaller size investor, and, you don't have millions or thousands or a lot of money to play with, these are ones you could buy $50 worth, buy $100 worth. 100 shares at a nickel is, 2,000 shares, or so. Buy $50 worth, buy 1,000 shares at a nickel, or at 3 cents. You can buy 1,000 shares at 3 cents for $30. How many of you go out to eat and just the one meal is $30? So have a TV dinner for $3 and then buy $30, buy 1,000 shares of this for $30. You got 1,000 shares. This thing goes to 50 cents. You got $500 on 30. Goes to $1. You got 1,000. It's not probably gonna go much lower than 3 cents. Maybe 2 cents. Then you got $20. You only lose $10. But these are cheap. And you can play them. I mean, this isn't how you're going to make a living. So don't go. I need to pay my mortgage. I need to pay all the bills. This is like lotto. You may actually honestly have better odds at hitting the lotto than hitting some of these penny stocks at times. But like I said, you never know. And they're cheap. For $20, $30, whatever. Buy 500 shares for at 3 cents. It's $15. I wouldn't go haywire in it, and stuff. Unless if you have the money and you to play with, but or if you really know something or believe something, but just have fun with them, and stuff. So, what do we got here? Musk bought shares for 3 cents and tweeted and sold at 70. Probably not. That probably would be a very bad idea for him. And I think when he tweeted it, I think it was the day he became the world's richest man. So he probably didn't really need to make money on doing that and stuff. So Margaret has a question. Raja, from when you first started, how long did it take you to get a good understanding of the stock market? So I guess I'll just take a shot at what you're asking. So, I mean, the stock market is pretty simple, buying and selling of stocks, and, it's keeping up on the news and what's happening out there, and then, figuring out what sectors you're interested in. There's so many different sectors. Obviously, I like Apple a lot, and everybody knows that. It's no secret, because I think Apple has a lot of potential for the future. And like I said, they have $192 billion in the bank. Apple is always going to be worth more money next year than they are today. 25 years from now, I don't know. Apple may not be worth more money than they are today. But I can tell you, for the next couple of years, Apple is going to continue to go up. It's going to continue to do good in the market, and it has a lot of potential. So understanding the buying and selling of stocks, very simple. Understanding the whole market, you have to look at the different things. I mean, obviously, if a global pandemic, a new one hits, this market was going to tank and sell off. Some different things that happened this time than previous pandemics or problems in the market is the market is not being spooked or affected as much based on because we have a lot of new people in the market. I think we call them the Webull investors and stuff. And if you guys haven't signed up or don't even have an account yet, if you guys do sign up, I'll share my Webull link. We each get 2 shares of stock if you do get it. But it's interesting. So back in the day, you had a lot of institutions, people, use their stockbrokers. It was a much bigger process to buy and sell stocks. So if the market was crashing, you had to call your broker. Your broker had to call the actual trading floor to get a trade in. And I mean, it was a long process. And that's why when things would go crazy, and imagine calling your broker, and 12 other people are calling him because they're watching the news, like during 9/11, for example. Everyone's watching 9/11 in horror, calling their broker to sell. Well, they didn't even know why they're selling. Everybody just gets on gets on something and just assumes that that's how the market's going, and people come up with stuff. I mean, very great example, when all this stuff at the Capitol happened, I would if that would have been 20 years ago and you didn't have the social media and it was just one new, imagine CNN or I don't know, well, when they started, but just imagine like ABC, CBS, NBC, breaking news, the Capitol is under siege. The market would have tumbled. This didn't even phase the market. It might have wound up being an up day or the next day. It was an up week, I think. It didn't even phase the market. And it's because you have a whole different breed of traders now. You're not, I mean, there's still obviously the institutions who control a lot of the stock market. But imagine like this. There's thousands and thousands of, millions, I should say, millions and millions of people who have, $100, 500, 1,000, 10,000, 5,000, 10,000 who have it in the market, and they're not afraid of it. The younger generation who's playing, using these Weebulls and Robinhoods and different stuff, they're not afraid. They're not scared. They don't care. And they stick to it. And you got to remember, if nothing can go down if nobody wants to sell. If everybody says, we're not selling it, even like these lower end penny stocks, when they move 100 million shares a day, it's insane. Think about that kind of volume on, even like some of these stocks that are, $1 a share or something. They move 100 million shares a day. So, I mean, it's easy to have them go up. If somebody is just buying, or somebody comes in with $20 million and says, I'm buying $20 million and not selling, that stock's going to go up. But it's so much volume because these people are playing with like the Weebulls and Robinhoods. There's no commission. And they're just trading, and it's very interesting. And I can see this. I'll share this with you. So, like, for example, on Friday after hours, I was telling you I sold 10,000 shares. But it's very interesting when these trades are coming through. You can see that it's all small buyers. And let me show you what I'm talking about and how I know that. Is because you guys a bigger screen. So when I bought 10,000 shares, let's see, by 10,000 shares, or that was selling, excuse me. Go to the right day here. All right. Yep, right here. Okay, so I bought 20,000 shares, or I gotta find it. It was a 10,000 shares at a limit of here we go. I think this is it. Yep, there we go. All right, 10,000 shares at a limit of 1330 on this particular day. I don't think this is the trade I'm talking about because I paid, 320. Sorry, my number's right. But look at these transactions. 1,400, 13 shares, 32 shares, 124, 27, 24. So every time somebody goes to sell stock. So what this shows me is a lot of people are playing this, but they're playing it in very small amounts of money. So 25 shares of a $3 stock is $80. Well, if you have no commission and you're able, you start with $100 and you're with no commissions, and let's say you're able to keep picking this thing apart for 10 cents at a time for 25, 26 shares, 100 shares for $300. You're making a quick $30 on, get 100 shares and it goes up a dime, and you're making $10 on 100 shares, and 100 shares, you have $350 in play, 40, or there's no commission. So a lot of these people could just be picking this thing apart. Here's somebody who came in and says, I want 1,000, and then even like when I sold them later on in the day, or here's the ones for the 10,000 shares at the 320. Well, I bought, so somebody had a larger blocks, who knows what they're into it at it, here, but you still have all these little ones. And then after hours, when I sold it, at the 330, or 331, actually, after hours yesterday, this is very interesting. Sold 10,000 shares, 331, one-time fill. So this is somebody who, has probably saw the news, or, has a, because it actually shot up after hours to like $3.37. So if I would have held it, I could have made another 600. I'm happy. I made $1,100. It was a one-day transaction. Pretty much everything else for the day was down. So, like I said, there's nothing ever wrong making money, when you make money. But like I said, it's very interesting. Like 1 share, 5 shares, I don't know, 17 shares. Like I said, somebody has $100. They got 2,500. They got 25 shares, and they're making $2.50. If you have $100 and it sits in the bank all year, you're going to make 50 cents in the bank. So if you made one trade on 25 shares of, the stock at 350 and, made 10 cents, maybe you made 20 cents. It's a better investment. And if you do that 25, 50 times a day, because these things are moving. So, if you're catching them a couple of times a day for, a penny, 2 pennies, 5 cents, 10 cents, and you just keep doing that all day long, it may equal $100. It may equal $1,000 at the end of the day. It just depends, So, like I said, it's a way to make money. So, and it also gives people something to do. It's like, just a hobby business. So Corey says, did I miss Bitcoin? So we did look at our Bitcoin balance. We put in the $50,000 last week. Show you guys real quick. And we are at, was $45,453 a little while ago. It's probably already changed. 45. Oh, we're up $200. Well, since we started talking 10 minutes ago, we're up $200. But Bitcoin, Bitcoin's sitting around these areas. It's going to be interesting, what Bitcoin does and stuff. And, like I said, me personally, I would love Bitcoin. Let Bitcoin come back to $5,000, $10,000 a coin, because you know what? When we buy, we're going to buy Bitcoin month after month after month for a year straight. So I'm going to invest $600,000 live in front of you guys in Bitcoin. And at the end of the year, we're going to see how we did. Hopefully in the last month of the year, Bitcoin's 100,000 a coin or more. If it is, we could be up $1 million, depending on where we buy it over the course of a year. Hopefully Bitcoin's not below where we're buying it, but if Bitcoin continues to go up, we're going to go up and make more money and stuff. So, but hey, Raja, why don't you make a trading app in Canada with $1 trades? We need one getting raped by monopoly firms here. Yeah, it takes a lot to opening up a trading company, and definitely you got to have a lot of money in the bank. Probably a lot more than I have to become a big trading firm. And, the big firms, they're trying to compete. It'd be a very hard market to get into. Definitely. Webull and Robinhood have done well to get in there so fast, but definitely hard. So Ren Slot says, I feel like this week is going to be a down week. Not too much going on with earnings until next week. Only Netflix and a few banks. Yeah, so you have the Netflix, you have some. I was looking over here at the earnings and stuff coming out. So you got a couple. You have, GS, you have Pets, you have, excuse me, a couple of these. Let me make the screen bigger. But yeah, we have some earnings here. Probably GS is one of the bigger ones for the week. Goldman Sachs, with the banks. But if they were to miss or something, it definitely would be dangerous. But I think they're near highs. You know, everything's near highs right now, so you have to just really watch that. But you definitely have all these things this week. This is some interesting stuff. This is Webull, which I've been sharing my link and stuff if anybody's interested. But they have some interesting stuff. I mean, a lot of this stuff you can get very technical. A lot of people don't realize I don't use a lot of technicals. I go with my gut feeling a lot of times, and you just have to a lot of times because that's how you're going to make money. I mean, you know how many times you can watch a chart and you see the advancers or the decliners or level 2, and here's the thing: if somebody big comes in and says, "I want to buy 100,000 shares," it's going to be all green for a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and then somebody comes in and says, "I want to sell 100,000," it's all red. Well, if everyone's watching that and panics and buying and volumes, and volume can go up and you can still have a stock go down. Volume can go up, the stock goes up. Some of that stuff's okay to watch, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make a huge difference. You've got to go with your gut feeling because look at Apple on yesterday, Friday. It was up at one point, way up, and then the market was down horribly. Apple's way up and it does terrific, and then the market comes back and Apple tanks and then it sells off even more after hours. I mean, look at this one-day chart of Apple. This thing was up and down, and I don't know what made it die at the end of the day. Then you look at Facebook. Why would Facebook have done? I didn't even see any big news on Facebook still. I think they actually did they put the president's account back live or something? I saw. If you look at Facebook, why would Facebook be up 2 1/3% in such a down day? Crazy. So I don't know. Like I said, I couldn't really find anything. Why Facebook was so up, especially this much in a down day. So, but you never know. Like I said, these things move. You just don't know. So you got to just have some fun with them and stuff. So, all right, let's see some questions here. What do we got here? That's the guy, Shane. So last year I made $597,000 from a $1,000 investment. Can you tell us about taxes a bit, like ballpark? So far up $85K this year. Well, congratulations. That's incredible. You've done really well. I'm curious what kind of investment it was, or if it was just a stock. But your capital gains taxes, the 25% currently until Sleepy Joe changes it on us. But so you have 25% capital gains, and it's you'd probably want to ask your CPA if you have any losses. But yeah, you'll definitely be paying a lot of taxes on that. But you know what? I don't mind paying taxes if I'm making a lot of money. So nothing wrong with that. Kevin, I like to buy stocks that move higher on big volume. That's always a great sign. But like I said, a lot of times with these lower dollar and cheaper stocks, they move on volume. But then, they can move on volume up and 2 seconds later, because you have to remember when there's such big margins, like when stocks fly, somebody made a lot of money and somebody could be selling. So a lot of times you'll see pullbacks and they go back up, and they're just always hard to pick them. But when you pick them right, they can do really, really well. CM, how old were you when you started to trade and knew you could do well at it? So I probably started trading, I don't know, so like 18, 19, 20 years old. But like I said, back there, I had brokers. I think how I actually got into trading, true story, is so back in the day, brokers used to cold call you like crazy. So you got to remember, this is, cell phones came out when I was about 16, but you're talking about a cell phone was a car phone. It was then it had the big blocks and those big Motorola's used to carry around. But I'd have my, phone, and, I had businesses and stuff. And somehow these brokers would find your number, get your information. They used to just cold call you. They'd be, Mr. Richter, how would, if we got a hot stock pick, just trying to drum up business and stuff. And they would just, they'd be like, oh, we'll get you in an IPO. We'll do this. I got an idea. Let's buy 4,000 shares of this today at $4. And, you have 3 days to pay for it. And I was, and that's kind of how I got into it. But you didn't have all the news. You didn't have stuff. You have to remember, like the stocks and everything every day in the newspapers. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know if the newspapers still print the stocks and what they all close at. But back in the day, we got all our information from the newspaper. You'd get the newspaper, you'd open up in the morning, and all the stock closing prices from yesterday were in the newspaper. That's how people knew, what was going on and stuff. So very interesting. Chris says, will Apple recover? I didn't know anything happened to Apple. Apple, is near its all-time high of 138. It's 127, so it's right up there. They got earnings coming out next week. When it split originally 5 months ago, it was at 125, right at the 500. So I think Apple's pretty good. Apple's been as low since the split as 102, 103. It's been as high as 138. I think Apple at 120 to 125. There's a lot of support. Can Apple go to 115? Of course it can. It's gonna go to 100. But like I said, this quarter for Apple is going to be their biggest quarter ever. They have all their new phone. Everything was in this one quarter. So they're, like I said, unless they give some really bad guidance or they spook the market with something crazy. They also said they had their biggest, days on the App Store, the 1.1 billion or something crazy. I don't see anything to slow Apple down at all. So I think it'll continue to go strong. Anthony, what about the airline stock for a turnaround? Airlines, it's the same thing. And you guys have to remember this. Apple didn't borrow any money. Apple kept making money the whole entire time during all the pandemic. These airlines, took on huge losses, huge debt. So what people always seem to forget about when they say like these opening trades and this and that, even if the airlines come back, imagine having a business and you're a business owner or you've ran your business and for 20 years, like clockwork, you made money. No problem. Every year you're making money. So you're an airline. You make and especially like the cruise ships. Let me give you the best example. The cruises. Royal Caribbean made $1 billion last year, right? Like clockwork. And they have new boats coming that are, when you decide to buy a new $2 billion boat, that's a 5-year project. A year probably just, designing it and financing and figuring it out. And then just to build something that, how long do you think just building a 4,000 or 5,000 passenger boat, those mega boats takes, 3-4 years. Just like building a, 5,000, unit casino takes 4 or 5 years. So these companies, are out there. Well, during this whole time, they had all these ships. Think about this. All these cruise companies didn't generate $1 in revenue. So, at least airlines are still flying, but they're flying at a loss. When you're flying an airplane that holds 160 people on it or 140, whatever it holds, and you have 8 people on there and you're flying from, LA to New York, you're losing so much money. It was cheaper just to park them. And that's what like the cruise companies, at least they park, they have their boats, parked. They're not really spending a lot of money on them, but they have, 100, 200 crew members on these boats and they still have to take care of them and they haven't generated any income. So here's your business. You're making $1 billion a year. You've budgeted, profits, and we're going to, out of this $1 billion we're going to make this year, maybe we made $2 billion, but we're spending $1 billion on, new boats, expansion, remodels. Everything's just going along, just sailing right along, everything perfectly. Well, then, boom, and all this happens in the pandemic, and your revenue goes to zero, just like that. Okay. And you have money in the bank, so you're not going bankrupt yet. Like, there's so many, bars, restaurants, and businesses that are out of business because of the pandemic. But you're not going to go bank. You have some money in the bank. So these companies have money in the bank. Okay, then they come out with stimulus and stuff. Well, the government says, okay, cruise ship companies, you guys are screwed because you're not even American companies. So they're kind of screwed there. But we need the cruise business because think about all our parts in like Galvin, Texas, all over Florida, New York, New Jersey, all these places, all these small, cruises are a massive business. These imagine Alaska this year. The whole cruise industry put Alaska on the map because what's the best way to see Alaska? A cruise boat. Do a 5-day, 7-day cruise to Vegas, to Alaska, and stop at 3 or 4 ports. That's massive. Imagine every day 15,000 people coming to your island for 7 hours to spend money doing all these activities like, eating and dining, shopping, kayaking, hunting, snow dogs, anything you can think of up there. And it just ends. And now they take on all this debt. And, just to stay afloat, and, they can't, it's not like you can be halfway done building a new $1 billion boat and stop or cancel the order. No. So they're doing all these things. So they're just piling on debt. So now, even if the cruise industry 100% returned to how it was pre-pandemic, they still have billions in debt to catch up from. So it's just a matter of if the market's going to say, you know what, who cares? They owe $5 billion now, but they're making $1 billion a year again. That's great. That's what people are forgetting about, is the government has some programs like PP&E where they forgive them and they're beneficial. But a lot of the programs they don't forgive. They're grant. If they're a grant, it's great. But like some of these, this disaster relief thing, yes, it's a low interest rate. My friend said to me, he goes, "Did you get the disaster relief?" And I said, "Why? I don't need any money." I'm going to get like $300,000. I go, "For what?" "Oh, it's a 30-year loan at 2% or what?" That's great. But if you don't need the money, why do you want to pay for 30 years more money? It's insane. And why should I have to? I mean, like I said, I didn't have to. I mean, if I had to survive and save my business, but why is the burden on the business owner? If the government shut us down, we didn't have a choice, or, obviously travel related, but it's tough. I don't know. I mean, some of these companies have just lost so much money. It's going to take a long time to make up for it. Chaos, $2 super chat. Vegas was busy this weekend. Airlines are busy right now. So Vegas has been very busy on the weekends, and this weekend was very, very busy for Vegas because it's Martin Luther King holiday, and people have a 3-day work week, and flights are so cheap. And even like next week when we're going to Vegas, when we're booking flights, it's $97 round trip from Colorado. So that was on Southwest. Some people are going on Frontier. It's $22, $40 or $37, $39 round trip. It's insane because the flights were empty. When we went to Vegas after New Year's, our flight, Vegas, I've never seen the airport that slow in Vegas. DIA, Denver was a little fairly busy, but not crazy. But our flight to Vegas was about 25% full. It almost reminded me back in May when I started traveling, how empty the airport was in the plane in Vegas. So Vegas is doing very well on the weekends. And that's everyone from California who's leaving home and saying, you know what, we're on lockdown here. Let's get away. Let's drive 4 hours to Vegas. And you have all these flights that are all cheap and everybody going out there. But during the week, they are getting slaughtered. I mean, it's bad out there. There's gonna be a lot of casinos, roughed up. All these casinos, and the only main thing that's keeping them going is everybody's basing the casinos on the fact that they're hoping, online gambling deals they have and some of their other stuff and smaller regional casinos they have are going to, hold it afloat. But without that convention center business, the problem is they don't have that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday business, Thursday. And that's why conventions always are during the week, because all the people are out there for the weekend. Then they start conventions off on like Monday or Sunday. Everybody flies in Sunday, and then conventions Monday, Tuesday, or during the week, whatever days. I can tell you right now, not having the rodeo in December and CES, it's getting crushed, and stuff. So definitely hurting him and stuff. Big shout out, Bonsai Yama Review in the house, and he's also one of our YouTube sponsors already. So thank you, Bonsai, for being a YouTube sponsor. And any of you guys can be a YouTube sponsor and stand out in the chat with a different color. Your name would be in green, and you have access to those really cool emojis that we have. So thank you so much. Matt says, living the life of the fullest. That's Matt. How far out should you buy options for day trading? So we've talked about this before, and I always love to recap these things. I like to do the weekly ones because those have the most premium. If you go out 2 weeks, a month, or a year, that the premium goes way down. So if you're an active trader, you want to make the most money and you're paying attention to what's going on, you want to do the weekly options. If you aren't an active trader, or you just want something that's very simple, basic to do, and you don't really care if it's if it's a week or like, let's say I have $100,000, I want to make money, I don't want to think about it for 30 days. Then you know what? Go play a 30-day option, play a yearly option. You're not going to make that premium, but you also don't have to worry as much. You're just kind of like making a bet and waiting 30 days for that bet to happen. I'm making the weekly, you're making a bet and you're waiting 5 days for it to happen. And you're going to get a better premium. So if you're an active trader, you want to do weekly. If you're not an active trader, you want to do whatever suits your trading needs. Also, I'm going to be doing some stuff. I'm going to, if we do see some dips, especially like Apple or some stuff, I'm going to buy some calls. You're going to like this. I'm going to buy some calls, and then I'm going to sell the call contracts every week at higher strike prices to make money back. And you can do that, and it's basically it's a covered call play, and it doesn't require any extra equity. The only downside is if one of those stocks was to take off and run, you could limit your profit. So, for example, let's say right now, let's say I bought the Apple 125s. They're probably if I went out, a year. You know what? I'll show you guys. It's that easy. No reason not to show you. So let's say like on Apple, we went out and we wanted to play the let's see, option chains. There we go. All right. So we got the calls and the puts. I hate when this does this to us. Chain. There we go. Can we get a chain, please? I don't know why. I can't get a chain. Calls and puts, custom. Let's go. There we go. All right. So let's look at the calls. So let's take Apple. Let's do 16 of them so you guys can see. So let's say we went out and we went all the way out here to April. We're going to go April, 40 days away. So the call, let's say the 120 call is $10. So you can buy this, let's say for $10. Or if we want to buy something that's, further out of the money, so it's cheaper. So, Apple's been as high as 138, right? So if you think between two new earnings coming out that Apple is going to be way above there, you can play the 135. So the 135 is $3.80. If you buy that for $3.80, it's so let's say you're not approved for level 2 trading or different things, level 3, excuse me, or you are. You can buy this for, let's say we bought, so if Apple is at where it is right now, you buy this for $3.80. I don't know. Well, the ask is $3.95. So let's say make this simple, you pay $4. Doesn't really matter. You pay $4. Then you can come all the way back here. And this week, the 135 is 30 cents. So let's say I bought 100 contracts for $4. I'm betting on Apple going to the moon, that it's going to be, $150 by then. Well, Apple this week is probably not, anything's possible, but Apple this week is probably not going to be above 135. It would be my guess by the end of the week. So you could sell this. So you buy that contract, but to collect money while you're waiting for Apple to go up, you can sell other contracts. So you could sell this 135 for 30 cents. You could sell the 134. You could sell the 130 for $1 and get $1 back, covered. You would have a $5 equity requirement because it's below the strike, but you can do that. Let's say we went and we did a larger scale. If you're a little risky or you're worried Apple is going to run, you could do the 137. So now if Apple would have to be at 137, so you can do it at whatever strike you like, but this is also another way to make money. So if I ever saw like a really, really large dip or something like really, really attractive or interesting, this is a way to leverage your money better than just straight out buying a call. So if you did want to go further out, but you could pick up that weekly premium. And like I said, there's so many different strategies, in buying and selling options. It just depends what you're into. Another thing you can do if you wanted to sell the puts to open, but then you buy a call right below it. So for example, I guess while we're here, let's say, for example, we wanted to, let's see. So, okay, the puts. That's what I was looking at the wrong side. So we go to the puts. So Apple is 127. Let's say we want to do the 121. Do you think Apple's going to fall $7 this week? So we could sell all these for 36 to 38 cents, so probably 36 cents for the 120. And then you come down here and you buy the you could buy the option for the put for the okay. So we're selling a put to open. You'd buy you'd buy the put to open instead of selling it, and then you cover yourself. So you can make this spread up. So let's say this is 36 cents and you buy the 115 and it's 15 cents. So you have a 20-cent spread, but your margin requirement is only on that $5 now. So instead of having a margin requirement on the whole $120, now your margin requirement is only on $5. So you could really leverage that heavily. Apple doesn't have that kind of big of swings, but if we look at like NEO, let's pull up NEO over here. For example, so NEO, the way it moved last week, but you could buy the, NEO could be down to $45, but I mean, you could hedge. You could buy this for $45 or 15 to 19 cents. So you get 15 cents, and then you come down, you buy the, the 40, or 41 for 12 cents, and you make 3 cents. But, instead of doing 100 contracts, you could be doing that with 100,000 contracts. It's crazy. You could have a lot of contracts out there. So, there's all different ways to play these and make money. It just kind of depends on, what is what you're, most into. So somebody said, is that a short? Jackpot Mike. No. So a short is you can buy when you're buying and selling stock. And here, I'll just show you guys. If you want to sell it short. So if a brokerage firm has to have the stock on hand. So, for example, if we wanted to short Apple, so if we thought Apple was going down, so you come to Apple, you do a trade, and it'll say here on the selection, you'll do sell short. Click on the trade button. So if we wanted to short Apple, come to Apple, this is the price, this is the limit, and then this is what we want to do. Sell short right here. So let's say Apple is 127.14. I want to sell 100 shares. You pick your strike price, and you would just select sell short. And then if you're betting on Apple going down. So it's kind of similar. So the difference is if you have a lot of money or you believe something is going to go down and you don't want to do the option. The option, you're always spending money and you're paying a premium. So if you believe Apple's going down, you want to buy a put. Just on Apple going down, you're paying a premium, but that every day is less and less, but you don't have to put up all of this money. If I short Apple and it's $127 a share right now, and we short it at $127 a share, you have a 50% margin requirement, or well, most firms do, assuming Schwab has a 50% requirement. So I would be laying out on 127, I'm laying out $67.50 a share to short Apple. I think that's right. Yes. $63.50 a share. I'm laying out $63.50 a share to short Apple. So if Apple, and then I have to buy it back. So if Apple, I short it at 127, it drops to 125. I make $2 a share. I buy it back. I close it. The short's over. If Apple goes up, you could lose your money very fast. If Apple went up to 129, now you're losing $2 a share. So that's why the options give you more flexibility. So for example, like last week, like I was saying, if we have 800 contracts of Apple open. Apple started out at 132 and finished the week at 127, so down 5 points. So if I owned 80,000 shares of Apple and I lost 5 points, I would have lost for the week $400,000. Now, if Apple went up, and finished the week at 137, I would have made $400,000 if I owned 80,000 shares of Apple. By playing 800 contracts of Apple, we basically made nothing because we sold those contracts originally. We had bad timing on buying them back. We could have bought them back, at 25 cents earlier in the day before it tanked. We wound up paying around 80 cents, I think. But Apple came down. So if we look at let's pull this up for you guys. So if we look at Apple last week and those contracts, so let's see. Orders with fills. Yeah, we did the 128s. There we go. All right. So we originally, hold on. The larger date range. Where's that one? We want Apple options. All securities, all orders, excuse me. All right, we'll do all orders. The 128s should, I wonder why it's not showing us. All right, we'll go to our history screen. All right, history. We'll find this. Okay, so we bought those back. What did it say? At 80 cents, 81 cents. Now we need Apple, AAPL. All right, that's what we did, the 125s. All right, so here are those 128s. So we originally sold these 120. Wait. All right, we bought them at 85 cents, but what do we trying to find what we sold them for originally? So 126. And we also rolled down. So these were 128s. We also went to the 125. There we go. So here we go. So when we originally did those 128s, we actually we sold them originally for 96 cents. And so Apple came down 5 points during the week. So this is my whole thing why options are, sometimes a safer and more leveraged play. So we sold them for 96 cents. We bought them back for 80. So we actually made money on Apple for the week. We made 8 times, like $12,000, $15,000 on that play. So we did well. If I would have owned 80,000 shares of Apple, I would have been down $400,000 for the week and hoping Apple comes back. So this is where the leverage is. Now, the people who sold those options, they didn't do as bad, because if we would have hit the whole amount, we would have made $80,000 on that transaction for the week, basically. But we didn't hit that, full amount. We wound up buying them back. And like I said, we could have bought them back at a quarter, would have had a much better profit. The market's moved. But like I said, you just have to watch them. And the leverage, the whole thing about options is it's leverage. And that's the whole thing. You're leveraging little amounts of money for a much bigger bang. So if you want to, it's playing options and playing like Apple and GE and Microsoft and Facebook and some of these bigger stocks on options, they're a little bit more steady. You're going to have probably a less risk of a return by doing the option versus playing it like the penny stocks and this dollar stuff. But like I said, if you have buy 1,000 shares of something for 2-3 cents, it's $20-$30. If it goes, you make some money. If it goes to $1, you're going to make a lot of money. If it goes to from 3 cents to 2 cents, you lose $10. It's not the end of the world. Nobody wants to lose, but it's not so bad. But so you just got to look at the different spreads. But that's why I like the options and leveraging my money and stuff. So Chris, what's the biggest mistake you'll never forget? I have so many of those. Actually, one of the worst mistakes I ever made. I was up over $2 million one day, but I had sold. So I had calls on Apple. I bought the calls. Apple. It was like 2 weeks out. I had, I don't know, it's maybe like 150,000 contracts open, and I sold against the short week. And when Apple ran, I really couldn't unwind it, and it cost me a lot of money. So that was probably one of the biggest ones and stuff. Vitali, hopefully I said that right. Hey, Raja, do you think stocks will go down on Wednesday? If stocks go down on Wednesday, it's just because the market was going to go down or people are just emotional. Like I said, we already know who the new president is. So if the market is spooked about Biden coming in, it would already be down. Like, they're not going to wait till he's down. Like, if you guys remember, if you go back 4 years and 2 months ago, if you guys remember the day Trump won the election, remember the market tanked, and then the next day it rallied. When they announced it. Remember the first day it was down like 500 points. Like I said, 500 points back then, 4 years ago, that was a lot. It was like probably a 5% move. Now 500 points is 1.5% move. But yeah, if you remember, the market tanked when Trump won the election. And then it came back. And I think when he went into the office, it was fine. Like I said, we know Biden won. We know Biden's stimulus. I think the market gave back a little bit on Friday. They weren't happy with his stimulus. They wanted some more. Biden, would have made if he would have said the checks instead of 2,000 or 2,500, the market could have been up, 500 more points. Because people would have said, oh, those opening trades, more money in the market. But like I said, I think you have a situation where the rich are getting richer, and the people who are hurting are really going to keep hurting. So you have to always look at those and stuff. Chaos says, Raja, check out ASTI. This one is in my vault. All right, I'll take a look at it really quick for you. ASTI. Cent Solar Technologies. 1 cent. And it's at a new high. There we go. 609 million shares. Wow. I wonder how many shares are in the float. So this is a new one, probably just getting some play. So it was 0.001, so it was 1/10 of a penny. Now it's over at a penny. So no idea why this one is moving so much. Has a lot of shares outstanding. Who knows? I don't know anything about this one. So must be is it fuel cell related or something. Not sure, but this is another one. Like I said, these are the ones that are penny. You know, buy $10. You buy 1,000 shares for $10. Thing goes to 10 cents. You know, made $100. The thing goes, back to 1/10 of a penny. You lost $9. So definitely have to take a look at those. You just never know. But if you guys haven't subscribed yet to my channel yet, make sure you click that subscribe button. Also, make sure you click that gray bell on YouTube. If you don't click the gray bell, you're not going to get notifications when we go live. If you're watching on Facebook, since we broadcast together on both channels at the same time, make sure you follow me on Facebook and click the that little thumb up like. If you don't click that guy, you're not going to get notifications when we go live on Facebook. And I appreciate everyone on Facebook, too, who's been liking and sharing my videos and telling their friends about us and everywhere. Unfortunately, YouTube only lets you share directly to people, not like on a page, really. Well, you can share it on a page, but if you're on Facebook watching, it's much easier to share it. But thank you guys so much. It's crazy. Between Facebook and YouTube, we're almost 10,000 followers and subscribers in the first, couple of weeks here. So, thank you guys so much for telling everybody about us and stuff and letting them know about the channel. We're going to do it. I still have high hopes. I'm going to make, we're going to take this 5 million and turn this thing into, 15, 20, 25 million this year. It's going to be crazy because once it gets going, this thing's going to be a runaway train. And, this last week, sometimes you get a little distracted with too many of these, penny stocks and different stuff. Like I said, they can hit big and I have something that works. It works really well. It's not the sexiest. It's not the most exciting. But if you have an option system that works and you can make $200,000-$300,000 a week, sometimes you just have to chill and let it do its job. Also, back to Bitcoin. Let's see how that's doing. Earlier today when we looked, it's been all over the place. We were at 45.6. It was at 45.4. It went up 200. Let's see if we're up more. Hey, another $100. We're up another $100 in our Bitcoin account. We're still down from where we bought it. We spent we spent 49.5 because of fees. So we're down about $3,000 on it, but hey, it's coming back. Maybe Bitcoin will be 37,000, 38,000 by Monday, or maybe by Tuesday. But now, like I said, honestly, if Bitcoin comes down, I would be very happy. So, Paul says, "Are you going to buy any bingo?" That's that's that one. The bio and it keeps going up and stuff. I don't know. I'll see where it is. If it's already up a lot on tomorrow or Tuesday, I probably won't. I don't know. Just I see the momentum. You also have to remember when the market is going up, all these little stocks go up because people get happy. They take their money out. They're making money on the real stocks, and they say, you know what? Let's gamble on these little things. But if the market has a big dump one day, you guys watch, these penny stocks will tank. They will not survive, and people will panic, and because people don't know what to do. So you have to be very, very careful and stuff. Paul says, I think it's about 3 months out from being $25. I don't know. Everybody, you know what? If it hits, it hits, but you just never know. Just never know on these what's going to be the big one. So, but thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you. And best of luck to the markets on Tuesday. We get tomorrow off, so everybody can sleep in on the markets. Nothing to get up early for. I don't have to be up at 5 a.m., see what's happening in the world of stuff. Nothing for me to study tonight going on. I will watch the overseas markets, see how they're doing. That's always a good sign. And let's, fingers crossed this week that we don't have anything drastic happen on Wednesday in the transition, and no harm out there to people. But I think it should be a good week. And thank you guys so much for watching. Big shout out to all our Patreon members. Almost, I think, 60 Patreon members now. If you guys want access to my real-time trades as I make them, I post them in our Patreon group, and that's patreon.com/Raja Makes Money. So you guys definitely check that out. Love to have you in that with us. And everyone, also don't forget my Webull. If you guys haven't signed up or you don't have a stock account, check out Webull. They give you 2 free shares of stock when you sign up to it. So take advantage of it. It's free stock. You can get anywhere between like an $8 share and an $1,800 share when you sign up. And they give you the level 2 trading and all the different stuff there. So definitely take advantage of it. And thank you to the people who have been using my link. I'm going to do the Webull challenge. I'm going to call it the Robinhood and Webull challenge. I'm just going to see how much free stock I can accumulate in these accounts. And I'm actually going to show you guys something pretty interesting. The stock that Webull's been giving out a lot of the last couple of weeks, this like Southwest energy stock, is at a new 52-week high. So it was, so I don't know if it's because Webull's been buying it up or because everybody's getting it for free on Webull as their stock, and everybody's just buying it thinking it's a hot stock pick. So kind of interesting, kind of thing that I saw, but it'll be fun. We'll have some fun with it. Who knows? We'll have a little contest around it. How many shares of stock will the Raja accumulate in Webull? we'll see the value of it. And then we'll blast it at the end of the year or something. I don't know. Or we'll have a party. We'll all get together and celebrate on it. If all our just imagine 1,000 people signed up, I'd have 2,000 free shares of stock. And if one of the stocks actually takes off and goes, who knows? We'll go off to the races. But thank you guys so much. You guys are the money makers. I hope everybody has a great week. I hope you guys had a great weekend. And I will see everyone Tuesday. I got 2 live shows. We'll have what happens, the Raja Makes Money, plus live slot play on my other channel, The Big Jackpot. So thank you guys so much. And welcome all our new subscribers, followers. Shout out to the mods. Thank you for modding. And thank you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend.